Rework, a lot of different ideas come to mind, and you think about, okay, first of all, is where's it occurring at? At what point in the process did somebody said, "Whoops, I've got a problem"? And if you think about what triggers the event of a rework, and what's that mean? Well, again, it could be a customer. I got my product at home and it just doesn't work. Send it back in. That's rework. Okay, so some organizations, I got to get an RMA, I send it in, and if they made it, then they got to fix it and send me a new one or send me a new one. But that process alone, when it comes back from the customer, there's diagnostic initial, there's diagnostic final, there may be a work order. Where we put the cost, whole other conversation on that one. So again, that's discovered after I shipped them a finished good product, comes back in. It's a different process to deal with returns where we're trying to repair them. That's a little different than rework, but we still need the data from that event to come back to manufacturing so we can eliminate this particular defect if that is the cause. So then where's the other place it could occur? I'm in the manufacturing line, and guess what happened? I dropped it. Whoops, the machine wasn't perfectly calibrated. Okay, so again, that's another example where now I'm in the middle of a manufacturing process, and it's not even a quality check that all of a sudden something happens. Could be equipment malfunction, could be an operator problem, right? Dropped it, broke it, just was doing it wrong. It also could be again, in the same context, it could be a quality catch, which means quality is inspecting. And we've got medical device manufacturers, and you think about the scrutiny throughout the manufacturing process. So again, what happens is it's caught after an operation and it's a quality inspection, and they're like, hey, this isn't right. And again, as you think about then the diagnostic on, okay, what is the corrective action? It's a whole, and again, we're on the line. All right, let's just start sanding it over here a little more. Stop, right? Imagine the complexities in the engineering. What if I'm doing an airframe piece and I discover something? Right? Again, maybe I'm the worker, I find it, maybe quality finds it. Again, maybe it came back from the customer and illuminates a bigger issue. But again, there's so now the rework, again, there's a simple rework. I got one piece that I needed. It's a little rough. I'm going to go sand it a little bit more. And again, in the simplest example, does that mean that, the planner can add an operation to the manufacturing order? So that's one example of how we get rework, is we're going to add another operation with more labor time for additional sanding, for example. And that may be, in that particular scenario, maybe it's not enough sanding. Whether that impacts all production going forward, meaning the master bomb should change, the route is forever changed. Now we've got an engineering management loop. So again, as we get feedback from customer sites, should go to engineering change management to see if there's a defect, because then the goal is, how do we resolve? But again, it's business process. And again, you heard me just talk about a whole bunch of places. And you're like, okay, well, how should you do it? Well, you're always costing it to the production. So and part of that is you need to trip the variance indicator. You need to say, hey, why do I have a variance on this? And if I'm making 50 and I got one part, okay, that's different. If I got 50 and I got to fix all 50, that's a bigger deal. And now we're going to see a big variance, because customer price, I guess the customer's not expecting me to come back and raise the price because I need more labor. Or, I found out that the part that I ordered is the wrong part. That's another one of these things that could require rework, is, again, it can't finish it. What does it do? It has to loop. And so there are a lot of complexities, and even how you address the transaction or create a new transaction, and where's the cost? Is it all part of this production? Certainly, if it's in a production run, you want to keep the cost there because you eliminate variance. But again, as you heard me articulate, these feedback loops are imperative just to fix these problems.